Hello everyone, it's Heltinho here again, and this time I'm gonna talk about idea I have when the meta shift after the Stealer of Souls, not Stealer of Secrets, ban, and that's it. You see, you know me, I just mainly play the Fagner Blues with my take on tip Murlocs, and after the ban there has been a lot of increase in Shaman presence in the meta. So that's a problem because Toxin plus Fergal is a problem. You can beat it, it's hard, but you can do it, but it's not a good matchup. There are some changes you might have to do with the deck, and I got an idea. See, against Shaman, you just, a card that's very good against them is the Nerubar Weblord, which it's great to halt in the many battle cries, but there's a problem here because the Fagner Blues has a lot of battle cries, and the Nerubar Weblord is a good card against my deck too. So I want to go to a different way, and that way is see, if you can't stick a board against them, maybe you just go old school and go for the OTK, which going for just hitting them in the face, straight in the face, instead of just great value with tip the scales. And that's what I do with double green scale oracle, double blue Gil warrior, double Murloc war leader, and old Merc Eye. With this 7 Murlocs in play, this is straight 30 damage to the face. But how do you do that? Well, the best way to assemble that is going for anything can happen. So you just go, if you can anything, those 7 Murlocs into play, that's 30 damage that you can laugh at the face of their Flurgo Toxin because it's going straight to face. And how to assemble those? Well, the best way is going for tip the scales. You can pull all those Murlocs in Magical Christmas Land, and then if they deal with that, you just go anything can happen and you just burst them down to death. Yeah, that used to be another version of tip Murlocs that C play, and the best way to cheat that is going for prismatic lens. See, that's a way you can build a deck. But I said I want the Nerubar. So what I thought was mixing this shell of tip the scales and can happen and the OTK Murlocs with Death and Texas. So to do that, you go with Call to Arms, and you get the best things you can do with two mana. So this deck, the way I envision it, you can go for the high roll if you hit a prismatic lens on an early tip the scales. You can just OTK then if you have enough Murlocs, if you don't draw too many of them, and then you can just anything can happen for the late game. You can cheat and cheap, anything can happen. There's the chance the lands hit Call to Arms, but a 2 mana Call to Arms with what you usually get because most of your cards cost 2. It's an okay thing as well. So I jam this deck. Let me just fill the rest of the things you want to pull with Call to Arms. Well, the first, on 1-drop, you want to hit Rider's Protector. That's a good 1-drop. That buys you time to find the rest of your combo, and the rest of the things you want as a 2-cost. Murgurgle would be nice, but you don't want any other Murlocs because you don't risk to miss the anything can happen without the combo pieces. Alright, Shooting Minibot. Let me go here. Annihiltron with our good stalling pieces. There are the tax effects, which are Firewatch Posts, which is a good card even after nerf, Nerubar Weblord. And for the rest of the things that I'd like to fill the deck, there are some good cards you can pull off the Call to Arms. Knife Juggler. See, if you hit a Knife Juggler early from the Call to Arms, you can just ping a lot of stuff, and this is something you need against aggro decks. And the last card I like here is Loot Hoarder. It's it helps you find your stuff, some value, and we have 2 less slots. These 2 less slots, I could add more creatures, but I like some board control and some face damage and some interaction with all your Divine Shield minions. So I'd like to run here Relying Blade. Yeah, so that's it. I built this deck some days ago. I had this idea. I'm playing it on High Legend. I'm doing so. It's not great, but it's not bad either. Against some decks like Priests, they just can't do anything about your OTK combo. You just go for 10 mana or earlier if you can cheat or something with Prismatic Lens. Some decks like Dark Lair have trouble dealing with Nerubar and Watch Pulse, and a quick tip the skill is just OTK them if you go on the chance of hitting with the lens. It's doing okay versus Shaman. You just have to be aware of the devolve so you don't get your Murloc pool busted by that card, and also Plague of Murlocs, some are playing that, but if you just go building your death pool with tip the scales, and you just try to make your minions die as soon as possible to not get hit by those cards, and just going for anything that for the 30 damage OTK. They just don't usually they can build armor to raise that. Against deck or the auto control deck that are showing up like Deadman's Warrior, that's another deck that's raising in presence. You can just go for another tip the scales to get them lower in health. They usually do your board, but then anything can happen, just finishes them. So that's a deck that's been funny. It's a new take on tip the scales, which you might know that's my favorite card. And that's it. I hope you've liked this deck, and please subscribe to my channel and keep more gurgling, my friends.